I watched you all for years. The boundary between the audience and the screen relies on a strict physical distance. You watch from your living room. They perform in a controlled studio environment. Cast members trade their domestic privacy for a network paycheck. Because the show's drama depends on the friction of their shared secrets, every woman at the table must be equally exposed. If one person remains a closed book while the others are laid bare, the social balance of power shifts entirely. In 2023, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City lost its narrative anchor. Jen Shah, the highly volatile center of the franchise, pled guilty to wire fraud and was sentenced to 78 months in federal prison. Her departure left a massive structural vacuum in the production. An anonymous viewer crossed the threshold to exploit this specific casting vulnerability. By moving from the couch to the set, she brought years of external surveillance into the internal cast dynamic. Welcome to Documentaries by Fahid. A highly engaged consumer weaponizing their digital intelligence against the system itself represents the ultimate threat to unscripted television. Monica Garcia executed a postmodern coup. She didn't just join a cast, she permanently shattered the divide between the spectator and the spectacle. Entering an established reality ensemble is difficult by design. The Salt Lake City cast operates as a geographically isolated, insular ecosystem of affluent women with decades of shared history. Outsiders are routinely rejected by the group's internal immune system. Garcia bypassed this social blockade by leveraging her proximity to criminality. Before joining the cast, she served as an assistant to Jen Shah. As Shah's telemarketing schemes unraveled, Garcia became a cooperating witness for the federal government. Garcia bypassed standard casting gates. While rookies spent years in vetting, she entered as a federal asset connected to the show's largest scandal, framing herself as a whistleblower disguised as a systemic threat. Producers saw a whistleblower, they didn't see a surveillance operative. Proximity to criminality provided the ultimate Trojan horse, allowing a surveillance operative to walk through the front door of a multi-million-dollar production. Her entry onto the set was only the physical half of the operation. 2 years earlier, in March 2021, Garcia and an associate created an anonymous Instagram account called Reality Von Tease. Initially, the page operated as a whistleblower box for audio clips of Jen Shah's workplace abuse. Once cameras rolled, Garcia maintained 2 identities. On camera, she performed the role of an empathetic rookie looking for a friend group. Her anonymous account executed a digital assault against the exact women she filmed with. By publishing rumors online and waiting for their stress, she could capture her co-stars' volatile on-screen reactions in person. The account moved beyond advocacy to character assassination. It targeted Lisa Barlow with rumors about trading sexual favors for sports tickets. It attacked Meredith Marks' marriage and amplified gossip about Whitney Rose's private life. Garcia comforted her castmates on camera, while the digital account she controlled subjected them to intense psychological violence. She was sitting in their safe spaces while orchestrating their public destruction. Operating a shadow digital network allowed a single participant to rig the reality TV narrative loop, becoming the omniscient director of her own reality. The operation collapsed during a cast trip to Bermuda. Through a network of mutual acquaintances and digital missteps, the veteran cast cross-referenced Garcia's background, identifying their new friend as their primary cyberbully. The operational exposure of her digital espionage culminated in a 2 a.m. eviction from the shared villa. Garcia was removed from the trip on a separate flight to prevent a total mutiny. The legacy stars formed a unified front. They issued an absolute ultimatum. They would never again share a filming space or screen with Garcia. This created a total structural gridlock. Unscripted television requires cast members to interact to generate content. When an entire ensemble refuses to engage, the production mechanism ceases to function, forcing a corporate intervention. Bravo executives and production leads realized the liability. Garcia delivered massive ratings, but her volatility exceeded the network's ability to ensure the production. Production informed Garcia via Zoom she was placed on a permanent pause. The exact digital volatility that made her a compelling television asset is what ultimately forced a corporate quarantine to prevent a complete cast strike. To understand the damage to the cast, we have to look at Michel Foucault's concept of the panopticon. In this model, prisoners regulate their own behavior because they know a central guard might be watching them at any moment. Reality television operates as a reverse panopticon. The cast members occupy the center of the ring, while millions of viewers watch from a distance. The performers accept this scrutiny, relying on the physical buffer between themselves and the audience to feel secure. Garcia bypassed this buffer. She required intense media literacy to feign ignorance at dinner tables while holding absolute leverage over her co-stars' private records and direct messages. The observer the cast had spent years fearing had successfully breached their physical circle. She rode in their cars, ate in their homes, and sat across from them at dinner, cataloging their flaws in real time. Realizing your closest confidant is a living consumer algorithm destroys the fundamental psychological safety required to produce unscripted television. Step back to view the platform's broader design, and the crack in its foundation becomes visible. The closed television ecosystem implodes when the subjects realize the audience has breached the perimeter. The genre has entered a postmodern loop. The boundary between the spectator and the spectacle is dead. This event proved a fan, armed only with digital intelligence and personal proximity, can successfully hijack a multi-million-dollar franchise narrative. Edit. There is a final irony in her exile. The ultimate defector successfully broke the fourth wall, only to find herself permanently locked outside the laboratory she sought to control. Monica Garcia permanently shattered the reality TV archetype. She proved the system's greatest vulnerability is the audience itself.